Is there a Michael Jackson what? Did he not really die and he became someone else or something?
Belmore, or sorry, Gelmore. Wait, how do I pronounce your
Gallimore.
name?
Gallimore.
Gallimore. The Globe is a psyop.
The Globe is a psyop.
Yep, it's a very old one. This psyop is old.
TV video jockey. I'm just connecting all these because they're kind of different names for the same thing. I just want them to all be related for when people search for it. Disc
You're like doing
jockey.
something completely different. All right, whatever.
Well, I'm gonna get to it. I promise.
He's doing like 10 different things, bro.
Yeah.
He can't debate flat Earth. He's one of those type of Globers.
No, it's not that I don't want to. DJs, MTV video. Okay. So I got her here, Martha Quinn. This is who someone was talking about. I'm just trying to make sure I have her information here. Americans, people. I got her. And go on to the next person. I just want to have these people in here. And then I do want to add MTV because I realized MTV I don't have a spot for. Oh, she went to New York University. I do have a bunch of alumni that went there. Y'all can see that if you want. It's an interesting category whenever you see it pop up in the wild. Look at that. That's just who I have right now.
Earth is a globe.
That the Earth is a globe. I'll get to it. I promise. We were talking about that. That was actually the first thing we talked about this morning. Albany.
So what was your evidence?
There's another book basically that's like a debunking book, but it was written a long time ago. And I had a copy of it, which I don't have on here, but I have a physical copy. Similar, and I was telling them also about another one, Herb Risson. There's a book that I have by him. Similar thing. But anyway, there's a bunch of people that kind of like write debunking books. I'm not saying I'm right, David Quinn.
All right, so you must have some idea of what this book was reflecting. So what was the evidence from the book?
I mean, there's a bunch of different ones. Obviously, like GPS being able to work is one thing. Another that I experience pretty regularly is when I talk to my kids and, they're in South Korea, it'll be nighttime when it's daytime here or vice versa. Do you know what I'm saying? Stepdaughter of Jane Bryan Lynn. I don't even know who this is.
I mean, can you imagine having a light source in a big ass room and it doesn't illuminate the entire room?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. And when it comes to GPS, what's really being measured is the time it takes for the signal, and you have a prediction for how fast the signal's moving.
Yeah.
Which
have you ever flown across the world?
Short distance from A to B.
Have you flown across the world?
Positions of these coordinates, you have to plot them on some kind of coordinate system or coordinate plane.
Yeah.
Right. So you need your basic X, Y, Z for every coordinate position. Yeah.
Okay. You want me to debate it? Okay. You're talking to someone who did radar air traffic control for 10 years. I was the guy dialing in those coordinates. I did it on a GPN 20 and a PPX 49. Those are the old school radar, the ones that you have to actually turn the radar yourself and do all of that. So yes, I know all about what you're talking about, but you're just wrong. And I've flown aircraft.
How am I wrong? What are you saying?
So real quick, okay, I've flown aircraft. I've flown across the entire planet.
Listen, that doesn't tell me that I'm wrong. I don't know what you're talking about.
So
he's seeing curvature from an airplane window, probably.
Don't change the subject. Why am I wrong? What did I say that was wrong about GPS?
Just your explanation of it. So and do you understand every I think it's like 7 years or 4 years, whatever it is, we actually have to readjust the GPS because of the magnetism of the earth and the change of it. So like there's actual things that like can explain what you're talking about and the mapping that you're referring to. It's just I think you're incorrect is all. I mean, and I feel like this I feel like the flat Earth thing is just
Oh
a
my God, dude.
misdirection.
You are not telling me why I'm wrong. Come on.
Okay, I mean, am I not?
No, you're just insisting I'm wrong, but not telling me why.
I mean, are you not doing the same thing?
All right. Steelman what I said and tell me why it's wrong. I
Steelman,
don't know
what
what you
you
did.
said.
Okay, hold on. Hold on.
You realize I'm
Let's
still
go through
working
this
on two
again.
things here.
We're talking about trilateration, right? That's what GPS is, right?
Triangulation, you mean?
No, not triangulation, trilateration. Damn, what? All right, actually, never mind, dude. I don't even think you know what you're talking about.
Versus, one sec. I'm looking at these, the difference. So uses angles to determine location by the angles between known points, while trilateration uses distance to find a location by measuring the distance from an unknown point. Well, yeah, it's a known point, so I would say it's triangulation. But yes,
You don't know the
trilateration.
point yet in your coordinate system.
What do you mean?
You're measuring the time. The signal is traveling at speed and is pinging back and forth between the receivers. So you think your wave is propagating linear, and then you consider there is some refraction. There is something that delays the signal, and you just
Right.
try to attribute it to magnetism, geomagnetism, which is due to solar storm activity.
Again, I'm not trying to. It's just not me trying to be rude. It's just I've seen a lot
No,
of my
I'm
own
not trying to
evidence.
sound, dude. I'm sorry I have to talk like this. I'm not trying to sound rude. I know my voice sucks.
No, I wasn't saying that. No, I mean,
So
yeah, I
wait, let's
wasn't.
just agree then.
What do
Let's
you mean?
just agree that
Agree on your
what's being
on what you.
measured, what's being measured is a linear distance between coordinates that you are going to presume are on some kind of coordinate system, XYZ.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, great. Now you have a moving satellite. You have a rotation. You have a vector. It's an angular vector,
Yeah.
right? So that would reflect a radius. Like when you think your GPS coordinates are reflecting a radius, it could be
But my
just from the moving satellite because it's
my
supposedly
issue
moving. It could be moving in a circular orbit above a stationary plane. Very
my issue is
simple.
that everything, and again, I have the Eric Dubé, like, I mean, and I think I've talked about this. So the Eric Dubé book, the 200 proofs the Earth is not a spinning ball. Like, I've read it. I read the whole book, and I was actually starting to go through, and I started writing. I think it might be in my Google Keep somewhere. I started writing my own response to each of one of his things that he said. And the thing is, it's basically impossible for you or I to disprove each other, because you and I can never go to outer space. You and I, like, we're either, whether we can get there, we can't get there because of radiation, or whether we can't get there because of our financial reasons, or physical limitations, or whatever the thing is. You and I will never see it. We can never see if the Earth is actually flat or a ball. So to me, the reason I don't like arguing this one, because this is why I say it's kind of a misdirection. It feels like, instead of taking it interest in things that, like, corruption and finances, people take interest in this, and then they waste, I mean, year. I mean, look at like Eddie Bravo, like, and I love the dude, watching him and stuff, but this is like all he talked about for years, um and
Interesting.
to me, I feel like, it is used against us, because it's something we can never prove, just like to
Dude, you're
argue.
doing this thing. You're like skewing into like irrelevant things. You're saying that GPS is your evidence. You're not addressing what is actually being measured when you're considering your coordinates.
Well, I mean, and the thing is, I would say, like, GPS, it had different lives. I mean, it's not GPS hasn't been the same GPS since day one. It was different
I
forms
need
of
to know how
GPS.
all the satellites talk to each other. I want the satellite to satellite data,
Yeah, we
Yeah,
could
and
not the ground.
be having
so,
spoofing and jamming in these type of systems. The analyzers, everything pertaining to these systems could be getting modulated, so it's spitting out globe coordinates. It's very easy to do for them.
yeah. Yeah, and I mean, again, it could all be a lie. That's the thing, is I can't really debate you on it. Yeah, it could all be a lie, but you could also be wrong too. You know what I mean? That's why it's not me trying to deny that I believe that it, is one way or another. It's just me. I find it hard to believe because I worked in the career field, and I saw, based on the Earth being round and the measurements that we have off of this roundness and the GPS coordinates we would use, the planes always ended up getting there right when they said they would. They were always on time. There was no mishaps because of some flatness of the Earth that we didn't anticipate. You know what I mean? Like, and again, I flew
Well,
multiple aircraft.
you're interpreting the signal delays, and for them being interpreted
Yeah,
wrong,
for
you're
sure.
attributing that
Again,
to magnetism.
it could be that. Again, I can't,
Yeah,
and
I
that's
would attribute it to that is
but
still the correct signal.
but to me, like, but on the same token, like, you also can't prove that. You know what I mean? And it's not me trying to be rude. It's just that neither of us can really truly prove this, and it becomes a moot point because you're like,
So then we could
why?
look at the actual data, try to find the real data coming from these supposed real crafts that are moving like,
Yeah.
20,000 miles away. And it turns out you don't get real data. Not even the people that send them up there, they don't even have access to it.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't believe so. Like, I don't believe we landed on the moon. So like, I'm in this camp somewhere in between.
Well, let
Uh,
me ask you real quick, because I ask everybody who says that, when did they actually go to space if they didn't go to the moon?
when did they go to space? I think they can go to space.
Well,
I think
just hold on. Just think about it for a second. If they had the media under their nuts, if they had the ability to make a convincing studio and filming techniques, they had all the personnel, they had all the preparation, everything's in order from top to bottom to fake a moon landing. If they had all of that capability, why would they ever need to go to space? And when did they first go to space if they didn't go to the moon?
I think we're still going to space in regards to like sending satellites.
When? When was
I
the
don't know if
first time they
people.
went to
I don't know
space?
if people. Well, real quick, I don't know if people are going. I think we can send equipment. I have this belief. I don't know. I don't know if it's a mass thing with the mass of the Earth keeping us here, or if it's a radiation issue. But it does seem like every time we get any evidence or video footage or photo, it seems fake, and it's all. And, even the Earth, you get those composite photos that they do these mass composites of the Earth. Like, yeah, I don't believe that we can actually get there. I think that they're just trying to make it like a propagandized thing so they can do their Project Bluebeam bullshit, that they all want to do. That's how it appears to me. I'm not saying I'm right, but yeah.
Hey, I've taken your stream off the focus.
Sounds good.
You answered that question wrong, and now you're being punished. I'm
That's
just
funny.
kidding.
What?
I'm just
Yeah.
Oh no, I mean, if he's just doing maintenance, that I got to keep
Yeah,
the chat on there.
Yeah, that's why I
Just so
try
you
not
know,
to. Yeah, go ahead.
Gallimore, just so you know, Alec doesn't always sound this creepy. Normally, he sounds kind of normal.
Normal creepy.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's just his voice hasn't worked in a few days. He's probably jonesing for some debate.
I like debating, but yeah, for me, that's one I just don't touch really anymore because I've had it so many times and I can never. That's why, I mean, you say I have the books basically disproving my position. This Eric Dubé book. There's other ones too. I just can't remember off the top of my head. I've definitely saved them though. Yeah, I have these books about that though.
Wait, the
Flat Earth
white
theory.
lighter myth is connected to the 27 Club? I didn't know.
Is it?
The what? The what myth?
The white lighter, if you have a white lighter, it's bad luck.
Never heard of that.
Yeah.
I never heard it either.
Dude, I
It's
just
bad
looked at
luck.
a white lighter right now.
Get rid of it.
Well, it's got like it's got like a picture on it, but most of it's white.
Guess you're not really
Actually,
cannabis
I
culture.
would like a white lighter. Actually,
That's racist. Come on.
that's why.
Well, more? Made it happen, helped it happen, or knew it was going to happen?
All three.
Okay, well,
Damn.
made it happen and helped it happen are the same in that.
That Israel's being set up, same year that the Air Force is being set up. These governments are all set up in conjunction, and forms and administrations of government are set up in conjunction because they were operating together at the same time. The CIA was part of the act in the operation of what happened in 9/11, as was Israel, because they're both part of the same entity.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, and then what is like the conspiracy theory out there that is not believable? You don't want to be associated with it. It's like putting a tinfoil hat on your head. Which is that one?
Let me think off the top of my head. I mean, the big one. I mean, I know it sounds bad, but it's the flat Earth one because of this thing that I just said. But I'm trying to think of something else that's not that. That's what I'm trying to think of.
Yeah, that's not going to go over well here.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people believe it, but to me, that's the most discrediting one because as soon as you start talking about it, it's like that's something you're never going to prove, and you can't prove it one way or
What
another.
about lizard?
Oh, lizard
reptile.
people. Yeah, right. Yeah, that one for sure. If people are talking about because the Tartaria, that's a big one for me. Mud floods. Yeah, any of the. If I
Are
start,
you pro or against?
He's
it's
saying
not that
that
I'm
it's not
against.
real.
It's not that I'm against it. Yeah, I just don't believe they're
Mhm.
real. I just think
Oh,
they're
okay,
all
gotcha.
I just think they're just distraction. Like the Tartaria stuff is to confuse us of like how Russia got so big. But if you look at how Russia got big, it's very there's a easy explanation. It's the Muscovy region was, I mean, after Khazaria fell, that was a real region, Khazaria, and the Jews left. They moved just over the river and they went and established Muscovy, and Muscovy turns into Moscow, and that turns into modern Russia. And then they had all these. I mean, that's how you see. I believe like the story of Genghis Khan's all fake bullshit. I mean, like, look up what color. Just Google what color hair is he purported to have had. What color eyes is he supposed to have had? Where did he? Where's his family supposed to have been from? Which, if you look all these things up, basically it's modern day Ukraine, just a little northeast of there. He has orange or red hair, blue eyes.
Do you have a category for red hair people? Because you should.
Let me see.
Judas
people with red
Iscariot
hair.
was a redhead.
So Judas Iscariot. Okay.
We're not going to help him at all. We're just adding a bunch of stuff to his list he's not going to need.
No, I already had people. I already had people with red hair, so actually, it's a good
really?
idea. Yeah.
Okay.
See, there's
Judas
got to be
Iscariot.
some kind of redhead conspiracy theory, right?
I mean, there is.
They're aliens.
I mean, so Judas Iscariot's son. I'm just going to keep that for now. I hope this is the same Judas. I'm worried. Yeah, I think this is son of Simon Iscariot.
The guy who betrayed Jesus with a kiss.
Yeah. I'm just hoping that these aren't conflating two things. I'm pretty sure it was the same guy. I just combined three people, which I normally don't do stuff like that. But so okay, I didn't know that. So people with red hair, and then we said Genghis Khan. Who else would we know right after? Or what did I spell it wrong? Genghis.
The Nephilim. No, just kidding. I don't know.
Is that true?
I heard
No, we don't know.
I heard they had red hair, but who knows?
I heard that
the Nephilim look like clowns.
samurai had red hair originally.
Really?
I swear.
Nimrod
Yes.
had red hair too.
You're a Nimrod.
And Esau, Nimrod. There's a lot of biblical characters that had red hair, and the Nephilim were supposedly look like clowns. And I just wanted to say the reason I unmuted myself this time is I just wanted to say that the flat Earth is totally provable if you trust your senses. To say that it's not provable is just, I mean, silly. You don't need to prove it to anyone else, just yourself. But that's what started me on this journey.
Shaguma.
What do you mean when you trust your senses? What do you mean?
Well, so every piece of evidence that I can view, the motion of the stars, long distance photography, just every avenue would lead me to believe that I live on a flat stationary plane. But for every single one of them, they come up with, oh, it's refraction, oh, it's this, or oh, it's that, where, like, just for example, Aquarius is an equatorial constellation, and you can see it 10 months out of the year. That easily proves that we do not orbit the sun. That would be impossible to see it 10 months out of the year if we orbited the sun. So therefore, you can verify for yourself that we don't orbit the sun. And you nickel and you piece it together like that, and it's easily provable.
Yeah, but you were saying, and maybe this wasn't a good example, but I thought you were saying you could tell with your senses, and this is something you can't tell with your senses. You know what I mean? Like, I thought you meant something like you would be off balance if we were moving fast or something like that.
Well, and they tell us that the Coriolis affects our toilet bowl water, storms, and bullets, but it doesn't affect airplanes, hot air balloons, anything like that. So we don't feel any motion. That it's logical that based on that we would think that we are stationary.
Huh.
But no, I was talking like the long distance photography record in the world is over 250 miles. There's 50,000 feet of curvature in that, missing in that photograph. You look at that photograph, everything looks flat. Everything, so, oh, it's refraction. You can plan a trip to Notre Dame twice a year and plan your refraction so you can see some mountain back behind the sunset. And you can see it at twice a year because the sun sets behind that mountain twice a year. And it just magically refraction happens at that. And it's like 150 miles. So if you trust your senses, like, oh, hey, I can see way too far consistently. I can watch a boat drop over the horizon, grab a pair of binoculars, and boom, I can see the wake. I can watch it through the binoculars, drop over the horizon, and bam, grab a telescope, and I can see the wake. I mean, you can prove to yourself that what you're being told is a lie. So don't convince yourself that you're not smart enough or you can't figure out or prove to yourself what world we live in, because you can. I'm a dummy and I did it.
I've seen curvature from a plane.
Hey, dude, speaking of planes, there was some pilot who said he was like a high altitude, like 80,000 foot or something like that, like some special pilot. He said he was up in the sky and he could see like thousands of miles. He could see like half the United States from being up that high. That's what he said. He was like, yeah, I saw Vegas and then I saw San Diego and I could see the mountains, and like he was like in the middle of the United States. He could see all the way to the ocean. I'm just saying. I mean, I don't know.
I've never seen that.
But...
I'd take a picture. Did he take a picture? Because that would be amazing.
Well, I mean, that would be a hard picture to take, right? Like you're looking at small stuff in the distance, but I think it would be hard. I think it would be hard to confuse like what would seemingly be an ocean off in the distance, right? Because you'd be seeing like shiny, glittery glitter, like all the way across your horizon, right? It wouldn't just be like a little lake or a little dot.
Yeah, I'd be like,
hard to mistake.
Let me grab my handy camera built into the phone that I have in my pocket and snap a picture of that shit.
And there are pictures. I know there's one that's pretty famous in the flat Earth community where it shows Mount Rainier and two mountains behind it, and on a plane, and they calculate it to how much, But long distance, when you're trying to prove the flat Earth, don't go to flat Earth sites. Like for me, the first thing I did was skydiving videos. I started carpooling for work.
What? Why skydiving?
Well, that's for me. Okay, so just a little bit. I started carpooling for work, and I was sitting in my driveway and I was watching. I was a NASA fanboy. I started watching the moon and the stars and everything every morning before work, and the moon was not doing what NASA told me it was doing. So that I started investigating that, and that everything led to flat Earth. And I'm like, well, how would you tell? And I'm like, skydiving videos, like just go up high and jump out of a plane. You should be able to see what we. So I went to Sky, man, and beautiful curve. And then they look up and beautiful bowl, beautiful. And I'm like, well,
Eat your
which
hot
is
dog.
it? Is it a curve
Yeah,
or is it a bowl?
GoPros.
Yeah, well, that's when I discovered what a GoPro is. That was like 8 years ago. That's when I discovered what a GoPro was. I'm like, okay, and cockpit
Yeah.
views. Cockpit views are a great way to see if you want to, just YouTube cockpit views. They generally don't use fisheye lenses for that.
Yeah.
But you can consistently see too far. And they say it's refraction, but there's no other visual distortions in the sky. I mean, how can you pull something up 20,000 feet without having some kind of other visual distortion compensating for that 20,000 feet? I mean, yeah. So, yeah, I'm just saying, don't sell yourself short. You can prove it.
Dude,
And
what's
it won't
what's
take
funny?
much.
What's funny is that they don't use theodolites for like the kind of distance that we've been able to see with the camera, and yet in the same way, there's like way more margin for error in that extra distance. And
I forget what's the I was just watching, like I work with videos, and somebody had a videotape the other day. They were filming a sunset right in the Caribbean, so it was going right down into the ocean. So it really looks like it just goes down. You know what I mean? Like it really fucking looks like. And what's the explanation for that? I forget.
I guess you're asking me. What? So you can say it again. I thought someone else was going to talk. What's the question?
I was, customers videotape. They're filming the sunset in the Caribbean, so the sun is going down into the ocean. It's disappearing from the bottom up. It's clearly going. Looks like it's going.
Yeah,
down.
refraction can do that though.
So that's the answer. Is it's refraction.
Yeah, that's the answer on your model. On the globe, that's literally why the sun sets. You didn't know that?
What do you mean? It's why the sun sets. The sun.
Yeah.
On the globe model, the sun quote sets because it goes behind the curve.
Okay. Well, on a flat Earth, I guess the sun sets because the sun goes behind the curve.
This is kind of hard for me to explain. I've never
It's the same.
I've never been like at the equator and watched the sunset at the equator or anything, but I live in Wisconsin. When I see the sun rise, it rises due east, and especially in the winter, it's a lot more prominent. But then it travels south. It keeps traveling south, and then halfway through the day, then it starts traveling north again, and it sets due west. So it's a big arc that it goes on. And I picture that on a flat Earth because that kind of used to bother me. And if it were coming in from the on a big circle, it would come in from the east, and then it goes south. It doesn't really get a whole lot closer to me than it is right there when it comes into view. It just kind of stays at that distance and then travels out of view when it's set. So that's how I picture it. Is like that.
It doesn't look like it travels out of view when it sets. That would look like it gets smaller and smaller. It gets dimmer maybe or something. I don't know. But that's not what
I have seen videos. But like I said, I've never been at the equator and watched the sunset at the equator. What you'd want to do is compare to that to what does it look like at the equator? You'd want to like film sunsets, preferably the same sunsets, and have several different locations and compare how they look. But if you could get over the water at the equator, that would be the best place to view the shrinkage. And I have seen video, but today, back then when I saw it, there was no such thing as AI as far as I knew, but they had it back then. I just didn't know they had it. So that, it could be an AI video that I saw, or like I said, I've never been to the equator and filmed or saw a sunset. It's on my list of things I would like to do because I feel that that's where you would watch it shrink and vanish off into the distance because it's not going in a circle. Because that circuit that it travels is going to view your perspective on where you are, depending. It's going to change where it is in the sky. Like I said, I'm not very good at explaining this one.
all you got to say is it goes behind the curvature on the flat Earth.
You talking to me?
No, I'm just saying what you can say.
Okay, look, the horizon is a circle. Okay, when you're near the surface, it appears flat, right? Because the closer you are to the surface, you're going to have a flat horizon. Now, like a hula hoop that's around you, the hula hoop's at your eyes, it appears flat, right? As it lowers down below you, it's a circle because you have a limited visible distance in every direction, which makes a circle. Okay. Now, if the sun is escaping behind that circle, then it has set. So it's not any different on either model. Actually, the difference would be the amount and type of refraction. But either way, on the globe, the sun sets due to refraction because in reality, the sun has already set. And the only reason that it's still in the sky is because of refraction.
In reality. Okay, so let me just steel man that.
On the globe Earth.
Oh, in reality, on the globe. Okay.
On the globe Earth.
All right, so let me just steel man that to make sure I got it. So everything is flat, but as you go up, everything kind of appears as a hula hoop circle, as it would naturally because the limit of your vision, right? You can only see so far. That's why you're saying that, right?
Yeah, well, the limit of the vision is defined by a few different things. You have the angular size limitation, right? But anything that falls within the angular size limitation would either be to some type of refraction or fog or haze or whatever could make an artificial horizon below you, right? Because if you can't see through the haze, it's going to limit you, like whatever distance that is in a circle around you. Like if you're walking in fog, you would have false horizon is what they'd call it, right? Or like 5 feet and around you or something, or whatever the fog would limit.
Okay.
Right? But that's a circle too, right?
I guess so.
So there you go.
360 degree.
But on the
Sphere.
globe,
Basically.
on the globe, man, like, anything under 15 degrees on the horizon is purely due to refraction, because the sun has already set on the globe, but you see it because it's refracted.
Okay, so can I try to steel man that?
Sure.
Okay, so it's not that what we would see on a flat Earth is the sun going away from us and shrinking in size. What we would expect to see on a flat Earth is the sun sinking down because the sphere of our vision creates a circle, and that's just so it would behave, quote unquote, like a globe in that way. Is that kind of what you're saying?
Maybe, sure. The way I would put it is, on the globe, it purports that the sun is refracted under 15 degrees. On what my argument would be, and I wouldn't be able to support it. I wouldn't be able to support it.
I got a phone call.
Yeah. I'll just in my argument, it would be that see, on the globe they claim that the sun is apparent, which means it's not the real sun, because it's like an optical phenomena. It's not the real sun under 15 degrees. That you're looking at a refracted sun. In my explanation, I think that the sun and the moon and everything is apparent in all directions. So every direction's refracted. So even if it's all the way up in the, at 0 degrees in the sky, or at 45 or 60 degrees or anything, I think it's there you go. He's back.
Sorry about that. Work call takes priority.
You're good, man. I was just answering for everyone else who might be listening. So in my argument, so in the globe, they claim everything's refracted under 15 degrees. My worldview is that refraction, like all positions of the celestial bodies, are apparent. They're all refracted, all of them. There's nothing that is actually where you see it, ever. That's my position.
So if someone has a video from high up and it shows the horizon as being flat, what's the explanation?
They probably have extremely good clarity, because what they need to do is solve the issue with like haze in the distance. So if haze is not an issue and you can see really, really far, then that horizon will be allowed to get closer to the center of your vision. That's really the only limitation.
So
other than perhaps like a refraction event or something like that.
So, but then does any, so are you saying that any depiction of the horizon is flat is therefore reality, and any that shows the curve is refraction?
So say it again, man.
So any picture that shows the horizon is flat is reality, and any picture that shows curve is refraction?
Well, you need to make the case. Yeah, see, this is actually the problem, is that on the globe, refraction is kind of like inverted in relation to what is really happening. Like when you really test refraction, it points towards flat Earth being the norm.
Okay.
But when but you guys basically say that, this whatever you're looking at is the way it is because it's a globe. That's all you're saying. Like, it looks flat because it's a globe. Like, that's basically all the arguments are. It looks flat because it's a globe. You know what I mean? Like, that doesn't make any sense. It doesn't even, and this is why you guys have so much trouble. And we've been trying to tell you guys in one way or another, this is why you guys have so much trouble actually modeling anything on the surface to steel man your position. Like, all the animations that you guys make, all of the proofs and everything you guys do for like Pontchartrain and just all of them, they all don't work, and they don't look right, and they don't work out right, because you're trying to say that refraction, when modeled, makes curved objects look flat, and they don't. They never work like that. And you can't even create a hypothetical situation where perhaps they do. Like, they always look off. This is why they don't make video games with curves, and the ones that do look bad, right? Because the normal position, the rule is flat, the exception is curve, because the exception is refraction. Refraction makes things look curved. You actually can't make a curved object look flat all the time. You can't do that, because that would be reversing the rule. This is why you guys got it all mixed up. Refraction is what makes things look curved. Refraction is what allows the sunset on a surface that's flat. Refraction allows everything that you see the way you see it. It is the rule, not the exception. Boom. Or I'm sorry, the flat is the rule, not the exception. You guys can't establish otherwise. And when you look at the sky, you say, oh, look, something's flipped upside down and going the wrong way. I'm like, hey, guess what? I can do that with refraction. And you're like, oh, well, I guess it's not exclusive then. Oh, wait, no, you didn't. You said, no, it's a globe anyway. Just a bunch of liars. Well, maybe not you. But the people who dismiss the fact that refraction inverts and flips things, which is precisely what we see in the South, and you guys claim refraction, and we know there is refraction, and every single time you try to steel man the flat Earth, you never use refraction, all you're doing is highlighting the ignorance.